live from the NBC studios in Denver, Colorado. Today is November 22nd, 2017.
Today at 12:30, the JFK assassination documents will be released after 54 years.
I know, this is really such an amazing event. And to think that we are only a half an hour away from knowing what everybody has been dying to know.
Lots of documents and evidence pertaining to the assassination have been hidden from the American people. It's almost time we find out what really happened that November day in Dallas.
Did you know that the evidence being released today consists of over 3% of the Warren Commission documents, 21% of the House Select Committee on Assassination documents, and an undeterminable percentage of the CIA, FBI, Secret Service, National Security Agency, State Department, U.S. Marine Corps, Naval Investigative Service, and Defensive Investigative Service documents?
I had no idea there was so much missing. I wonder if any of those documents talk about the gun cartridges that were supposedly labeled by Poe with the initials JMP before turning them over to the Dallas Crime Lab. But then later, on June 12, 1964, the casings shown to him to identify did not have the initials on them. Therefore, we can deduce that they were not the same casings that were found that day in Dallas.
That's so strange. Speaking of bullet shells, the Warren Commission's copy of the Dallas Police evidence sheet had 3 shell cases that were taken from the depository, but the copy that was later found in the Texas Department of Public Safety files showed only 2 cases.
How do you lose track of the number of shell casings?
Speaking of lost, did you know that President Kennedy's brain is missing? I mean, really, how do you lose the president's brain?
Lots of people speculate that Bobby Kennedy disposed of it, while the medical materials were on loan to the Kennedy family after the autopsy. They say he did it because he wanted to avoid public curiosity. But then, Bobby may have been conducting his own experiments on the brain to prove his conspiracy theory.
In fact, many of the documents being released today may contain facts to prove it was a conspiracy. There are countless conspiracy theories floating around the country. Numerous of these include government involvement.
Yeah, some people think that the Vice President, LBJ, was involved. For example, E. Howard Hunt, who was a CIA and President's Special Investigations Unit officer, drew a diagram on his deathbed. He wrote the initials LBJ and connected him with a line to Cord Meyer, who was a CIA agent whose wife had an affair with JFK, and connected Meyer to Bill Harvey and David Morales. David Morales' name was connected to the words French gunman Grassy Knoll, implying that LBJ had some relationship to the alleged gunman involved in the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
So even the CIA itself may have been involved? I knew that the Secret Service was probably involved because Kennedy didn't receive adequate protection in Dallas, and the Secret Service had in their possession information that was not properly analyzed, investigated, or used in connection with the trip to Dallas.
Much of the evidence wasn't properly investigated. Even Connolly's suit was sent straight to the dry cleaners. They didn't even examine it first.
They didn't examine the limousine before cleaning it out either. The presidential limo was codenamed X100X. And in December of that same year, the Secret Service decided to modify it by armoring it, adding a top, and painting it. They even put it back into service early the following year. To me, it seems like the car should have been preserved as historic evidence and not tampered with at all.
And now to Chris for what was found and recorded at the scene in Dealey Plaza.
Dallas Dr. A.B. Carnes identified a bone in Dealey Plaza to be that of a human skull, proving that JFK's head was blown out. However, no autopsy was performed in Dallas.
Thank you, Chris, for that fascinating report.
Many people speculate that the headshot was from the front because of the Zapruder film. But according to the lone assassin theory, all 3 shots came from the 6th-story window of the book depository, shot by Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oswald is a very interesting character. He lived in Russia for some time and married his wife there, then brought her back to the U.S. without any complications, which is very puzzling. He was also in the Marine Corps at one point in his life, but his file was destroyed. When the Warren Commission looked for his file, it was nowhere to be found.
Hey, maybe a document about that will be released today.
Well, actually, We are only a few minutes away from this historical event.
Here are the documents. Let's take a look, shall we?
We interrupt this program to activate the emergency alert system for a required monthly test.
This is a coordinated monthly test of emergency broadcasting equipment in your area. Equipment that can quickly warn you in the event of an emergency is being tested. If this had been an actual emergency, information relating to the current emergency would have been broadcast following the alert tone. This concludes this test of the emergency alert system.
That was some amazing information.
I'm so glad you were here to experience this historic moment with us. Signing off, this is NBC Studios reporting live from Denver, Colorado.
See you tomorrow.